25 years ago, one of the largest car companies on the planet decided to embark upon a journey. And not the usual, we're going to build the biggest, baddest thing out there. Instead, it was the relentless pursuit of perfection. Now that's all fine and good, but it has produced a lot of quiet cars. Funny thing, time has a way of changing you, and as of late, there's been a lot of noise on that journey. Fast forward to today, and you probably think you're looking at the 2015 IS Coupe. You would be wrong. Friends, today's story is not just about an orange go-fast Lexus. No, today's story is also about the guy that has been behind almost every car on that pursuit since it began in 1989. And with that, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Lexus's relentless Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
私は1977年に会社に入って、まずクラウンという日本のドメスティック高級車の振動騒音の開発をしていました。クラウンは日本で一番静かな車ですが、あるジャーナリストからクラウンは世界に行ったら静かな車ではないというふうに言われました。その時にちょうど LS400 を開発するプロジェクトが立ち上がりましたので、私はこれをチャンスとして世界一静かな車を作ろうというチャレンジをすることを LS400 で決めました。で、初代の LS400、2代目の LS400、この2つの開発をして振動奏法の開発に一区切りをつけました。
Okay, so let's get down to business. We've got a 5-liter V8 up there that's got 467 horsepower. So let's put aside 467 horsepower and let's talk 389 pound-feet of torque. But what's most important here comes in at a very high 4,800 RPM. As a basis of comparison, those big Mercedes we've been driving, those come in at 2,200 RPM. So there's a whole different driving characteristic for this car. Think like Honda S2000 and you kind of get the whole trick here. You really need to beat it, drive it like you stole it to get the power out of it. It's not that it doesn't have torque, you just have to really, treat her like a naughty girl. So the engineering folks these days are looking like heroes because they take direct injection, throw it on even a big motor like this, and they get high horsepower simultaneous with high MPG. But you know Yaguchi-san never the easy way. So what he did here is we've got throttle body injection and we got direct injection. And really, it's designed for two personalities. There's an auto cycle, which gives us the 5-liter output of 467 horsepower and 16 mpg. But then there's an Atkinson cycle, yes, on the Lexus RC F. Now, if you've driven with us on the Corvettes, they cut off half the cylinders to get to 30 mpg. Yaguchi-san does this a bit of a different way. So by going to an Atkinson cycle, what he does is he retards the timing. So by retarding the timing, you're not getting the full 5-liter output. You're getting about a 4.2-liter output and 25 mpg from 467 horsepower. Okay, you know what? Enough of this automatic. I'm switching gears myself because I want to hold the gear. Okay, I'm holding in 2, going up to 3 on the straight. There's a chicane coming up here. So let's brake. I'm going to downshift right before. It denied my downshift. Now I'm downshifting to 2. Oh, listen to that. 3rd gear, hit the red line. 4th gear, 120. We're seeing 125 there. I gotta tell you, getting to know this track, it's quite a challenge because most of the stuff we've done on our episodes together has been on like 1 to maybe 2.5 mile tracks. This is over 4 miles. So in the short time we're out here, you're not gonna get to know every single curve. And I'm gonna need some time out here, which is a good excuse. Maybe I should speak to Yaguchi-san when we come here more often.
その後、車両の全体のまとめをする仕事に移って、初代チェイサーのツアラー系というスポーツセダンの開発を行いました。スポーツセダンの開発の後には小型の高級車の開発などをしましたが、スープラの最終型となるリアス式サスペンションを入れた性能開発を最終的には行いました。その後 一つ前の SC430 の初期プロジェクトに携わったりしながら振動騒音から車両開発のまとめというところまでの私の2番目のプログラムを終わりました。
It would stand to reason if you want to make a performance sedan or coupe, you would take the IS off the shelf, put in a big motor, maybe throw on some fancy wheels and do a funky paint job. But have you met Yaguchi-san? This man really doesn't do anything the easy way. He had a very specific goal in mind. His logic was, I want a wider car, I want a stiffer car. So to do that, he took the front clip of the GS, so that's the mid-size car, throws in the big motor. Now if that sounds familiar, think about, any muscle car back in the 60s. But unlike muscle cars back in the 60s, Yaguchi-san wanted a stiffer car, a more rigid car. So to do that, he went shopping in convertible land. So this whole floor pan here and the center tunnel is from the ISC. Now think about that for a minute, because that is designed for a car without a roof. This has a roof. Then back here, this whole clip is from the IS, but it doesn't stop there. So what he did, the suspension, so the front suspension, the rear suspension, the multi-link, the bushings and the dampers all come from the larger GS. And that gives us the Yaguchi-san creation that is the RCF. Okay, so while we're going through curves, probably a good time to talk about the brakes. We've got Brembos, but what's interesting about these Brembos, it's 6-piston up front and 4-piston in the rear. You got almost 15 inches in the front and almost 13s in the back. Okay, so I know we've been talking a lot about Yaguchi-san throughout this whole film and all the cars he's built previously, but we haven't mentioned the LFA yet. There actually is a little bit of LFA in this car. Notice this one is fitted with a carbon fiber roof and the carbon fiber adjustable spoiler. So this is not your run-of-the-mill carbon fiber. This is the carbon fiber that was made in a plant for the LFA. So it was like this factory within a factory where it looks like a rotisserie restoration, and this whole thing is made in a place that looks kind of like Charlotte's Web. And notice it's not the usual diagonal kind of carbon fiber you see on like tuner cars. It's carbon fiber that's made in an OEM factory for a, $400,000 car, the body panels for that car, and now for Yaguchi-san's RCF.
その後にレクサスのブランド戦略の研究を少しやった後に、その中でレクサスにはどうしてもプレミアムスポーツが必要だというふうに思いました。そして ISF を提案をし、ISF の開発を自ら行うことを私の仕事といたしました。ISF では今までにないレクサスの新パフォーマンスを皆さんにお届けすることができたと思います。ISF の後には LFA が立ち上がり、レクサスのイメージリーダーとなりました。ただレクサスの LFA の開発販売も終了してしまいましたので、レクサスには新しいイメージリーダーが必要になりました。それがこの RCF になります。RCF は LFA の抜けた後にモータースポーツと組み合わせて、レクサスの中にエモーショナルなイメージを作るための車として開発をしています。
You're probably asking yourself, why is it a 5-liter V8 in this today's day and age of twin-turbo V6s? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because it's Yaguchi-san's choice. When you reinvent Lexus and come out with the ISF after, coming out with every Supra, you kind of got some pull at the company. So he says, nah, I don't want a twin-turbo V6. I just like the characteristics of the V8. So playing the part of Captain Obvious here, this is a Lexus, and I think most of us would agree that Lexus has a significant amount of history and experience in hybrids. And believe it or not, this is a hybrid, but not in the traditional Prius sense. It's a hybrid in the Yaguchi sense. So limited slip differentials, provides more power to the outside wheel to get you through a turn faster. Cars in this segment, now what they do is they have a torque vectoring control or a yaw control to kind of do the same thing. So this car does have the limited slip, but it also has 2 electric motors that sit on either side of the differential. Now, before you jump to a conclusion that there's an electric motor driving the wheels, what actually happens is the electric motors on either side, depending on what your outside wheel is, will drive a clutch which drives the planetary gear set, which drives the half shaft to the outside wheel. Thus, the Yaguchi-san hybrid. So let's put all this to work. I'm turning to the left. That means that electric motor on the right rear is helping more power get to the right rear wheel. Okay, so let's try this thing again. Now we're gonna go to a very sharp hairpin to the right. That means I've got this electric motor. Oh, look at that, it bit a little bit. Let's got that electric motor giving me more power to the left. Let's try it again, turning to the left. So we're gonna do this to the outer right rear wheel. Electric motor is helping me here. It just makes the car sharper around a circuit like this. And that's saying a lot from a 3,940 pound car. 3,940 pounds. That's quite a bit heavier than most of the cars in its segment. Okay, so there are two more changes. Before we get to those, remember, GS here, convertible here, and IS here. The final two are underneath the hood. Before we get there, remember our analogy, muscle cars, Pontiac muscle cars from the 60s. What did they have? They had structural braces from the firewall to the shock towers. The logic here is very much the same, to increase the structural rigidity of the car. Now, the final change, it has nothing to do with speed, has nothing to do with rigidity, but it has everything to do with how cool the engine of this car is. Yaguchi-san decided the intake plenum, he doesn't want a run-of-the-mill intake plenum. He wants one that is painted purple. Listen to that. Now, Yaguchi-san was telling me off camera that they put a speaker in the steering column. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments below, or hit us up via our social networks, MotoManTV, all one word, MotoManTV, all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But for now, I'm going back on the track. See you, suckers. So click here to watch one of our 250 other episodes. Click here to subscribe. And can we ask you guys a favor? Can you watch these within the first 36 hours? Because it gets us more views, which gets us more dollars, which gets you more episodes. And of course, follow us, MotoManTV, all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll see you guys next time.